It's been a long day. I can't carry on. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TCF Sport. My name is Ben. It's been a little while, a few weeks. As ever, joined. Why have you gone red?
It's warm in here.
Do you not like my singing? You laughed when I had it on the podcast outline.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Until I actually start doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. It's like that joke about Dad, isn't he? He can make the phone book funny. For those young people, phone book was something we had back in the
How
90s.
many of these do we do every single episode?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the phone book joke. I'll tell you after.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you're old enough to know the phone book joke,
I don't even know. I'm not old enough to know the phone book joke.
I'll tell you after.
Fair enough. How you been anyway?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Has been a few weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've missed it a little bit.
Last recorded, yeah.
We've got a lot to sink our teeth into.
Yeah, I know. Because obviously we have been doing this every week since I got back from traveling. But now, yeah, we do.
Now you've got more jobs than you can handle. It went from no jobs to me taking the reins to yeah. No, I can't record. I can't record today. I'm working. I'm like, what's your podcast, Ben? Right.
Clips have still been going out.
You're still doing the clips.
Clips
I mean,
going
you've
out.
obviously got enough footage for clips.
53 subscribers on YouTube. 53
Nice.
subscribers on YouTube. We're getting there slowly. Not been too bad, isn't it?
That's all right. If you do 53 a year for 10 years,
Yeah.
that's almost 530.
Almost 20,000 likes on TikTok.
Really?
That's
I mean,
stat.
I don't look at TikTok because I don't have it.
Yeah.
What is a TikTok?
It's just. I
Have you seen Men in Black 2?
I have seen Men in Black 2, yeah.
The car, it's like a Game Boy. What is a Game Boy? That's how I feel about TikTok. What is a TikTok? Like load of nonsense.
You know, the way that you can just randomly quote movies is almost... I liken it to sometimes like picking up random stats of football that I can just recall. Because, yeah, I've seen Men in Black 2, but I couldn't remember that bit of the film.
Yeah, but as I say to people who I work with, because I often do this quite a lot at work, you know, where's it got me in life?
Good references.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. I can know a reference. Fantastic. Am I going to get paid for that?
Start a film podcast.
Start a film podcast. The Casual Films.
Hey, the name is open for other things, for expansion. Who knows? Maybe one day. As I always say.
Maybe.
Where do you want to start then? We've got a lot to sink our teeth into, as you said.
Well, at the top of your talking points is where I'd have actually gone with. So
We'll start there.
you go ahead.
David Coote, obviously. I think it came out at the end. It was after the games, the last round of games before the international break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, it transpired that the first thing that came out was the video of him in lockdown calling Jurgen Klopp, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then saying that he hates Liverpool on the same video. Since then, The Sun have also reported him supposedly doing coke. Not long before he was involved in officiating games at Euro 2024. And in the last week, the FA have announced that he's under investigation for an allegation that he discussed with a fan giving a Leeds player a yellow card before the game. So exchanged messages with a fan about potentially giving a Leeds player.
I read somewhere that he denied that one.
Yeah,
I don't know about the other two.
No, and the BBC, he's denied that one. I think he's denied the second one, the doing a line of coke or doing coke at Euro 2024.
Okay.
He initially denied, supposedly anyway, it's what you see on social media, so I don't know how true it is, but he initially denied the Jurgen Klopp video.
Yeah.
And then about a short while after that said, no, it is actually accurate. So that one obviously is definitely
Oh, so he did say that.
legitimate. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to me, the other two allegations the FA's investigating, the BBC also reported, so with the allegation about him giving a yellow card to the Leeds player, it was Alioski, it was a legitimate yellow card. So while he might have exchanged messages about it, it seems that the foul itself or the booking that he gave was legitimate, was an actual yellow card. But the one that's most interesting, obviously, is the video of him calling Jurgen Klopp what he called him, saying that he hates Liverpool. And it leads me to ask, do you think he can referee in the Premier League again?
I don't know. Is the honest answer? It all depends what their procedures and rules are. The Liverpool one with artificial intelligence and all that sort of stuff, didn't really know, because I have seen it, and when he's talking, it's a bit.
Well, that's why I think he denied it first. But you could say it like that. You could also say he's talking that way because he could be off his face on alcohol or whatever else. It's.
I mean, to me, the other two, I mean, the BBC, he's denied that one. The BBC someone's obviously gunning for him, haven't they?
Yeah.
And he's been stupid enough to do it on someone's recording.
And something's obviously also happened, because if this was recorded in lockdown,
yeah.
why has it taken this long for it to come out now? Especially when there have been decisions after that. So, I mean, the one that if I was a Liverpool fan, that I'd be most frustrated with. Do you remember the Rodri handball against Everton in February 2022? Yeah. He was doing the VAR for that one, and that was a blatant Stonewall handball. I know a lot still had to happen because it was the end of February, start of March, that game, so there's still a few months left of the season. But Liverpool lost that title by 1 point to City.
Was that the same season, though, that they went to United and drew 0-0, Liverpool?
Potentially.
Because I think United were there for the taking, and I've always maintained that they should have gambled a little bit more, because they would have won the league. But yeah, I mean, everyone has banter, don't they? If he's just joking around, I mean, it's come from, I think, the way he was spoken to by Klopp when he was fourth official.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you say, if he is off his face, it's ill-advised, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but they've probably got policies, procedures, and all that sort of thing. So it's down to them to investigate. They're doing the drugs. Did he say he denied that one?
I think he's denied that one. Yeah, and it's because since the first one has come out, obviously all the other ones have come out, and
and that's where I say someone's obviously gunning for him. And like you say, something's clearly happened where someone's got this and gone, or is it like the other referee where that video was released, or that recording was released of him? I think he said he was clearly joking. Do you remember I think it was like a disabled chap or something, or someone who was on crutches, and it was like, oh, someone I could beat in a foot race. Like,
I don't remember that one.
Something along those. I think it was something like that. And again, that was released, and he got suspended. I can't remember the ref's name off the top of my head. And
was it recently?
No, a few years ago now.
Yeah.
But like I say, it could be something along those lines, on that general line. But what makes me laugh, though, is society at the moment is indicative of, oh, we'll give you support and this, that, and the other. So after the doing the drugs, not one has anyone come out, Premier League Association come out and said doing drugs is bad.
No, I mean,
or we're giving him support, we're doing this and we're doing that. I mean, if he was doing drugs, like.
But I don't know if they've not said that because it's just an allegation at the moment. It's not confirmed or anything like that. I have seen Pedro Mel said that he's been given support, and to me, that's like fair because I get he has made a mistake with the video of calling Jurgen Klopp what he's called him and saying that he hates Liverpool. He might hold those thoughts in private, especially because some of the abuse that he gets and other referees get on the touchline. They're just doing their job. It's not warranted.
Well, they're only human,
no,
aren't they? But again, something he says, you don't know if it's tongue-in-cheek, if it's just because he's had a bad experience there, and he's like, oh, I hate Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it didn't seem that way in the video, but again, because it looked like he was intoxicated, to be more formal.
Yeah. Well, it was a strange recording, because it almost didn't look like he was speaking. It was
yeah, which is why I think, released on social media, he came out and said that he denied it initially and then accepted it after that. But in terms of...
I was going to say, But why do you deny it? Why in society do we have to deny things straight off the bat? Like, if he did do it, just come out and say, by the way, I was absolutely off my face. I don't mean it. I don't stand by it. I was joking around with someone who's released this video. It's not what I think or feel now. And I apologise. What's wrong with doing that? And going, I'm sorry for the wording I used towards Mr. Klopp. I still hate Liverpool, but maybe you don't want me on their games then anymore.
Potentially through fear of being cancelled, because if he's come out and shown that he's biased against
why do we have to take people's jobs all the time? Or why are people like saying, oh, he's got to lose his job?
But that's why I asked the question at the start, though, because that's the debate now. Can he referee in the Premier League again? And that's why I asked.
Maybe not Liverpool matches.
No, it feels like never, because Liverpool fans, you know what fan environments or stadiums have been like, and we've been guilty ourselves sometimes. Of course, you get caught up in emotion. Yeah. He's never going to be accepted back to referee a Liverpool game again.
No. But then there'll be an argument now that if Liverpool are in a title running, you know, whoever's against them, he can't referee those ones.
But that's why it could leave it open. Will he be able to referee Premier League games at the lower end of the table, or teams that aren't involved that aren't competing against Liverpool? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they got to do their investigation and go from there, haven't they?
Or lower league teams potentially. It does feel like everyone makes mistakes. I get that, and he does need a little bit of time away.
I mean, bear in mind he was overruled by Michael Oliver for that West Ham Man United penalty.
Yeah,
So
and
he doesn't hate Liverpool that much because he gave that against Man United, didn't
exactly
he?
got sent out of the sack.
Exactly. So, friend,
Yeah,
trying to make it better.
yeah. But
there's a reason he's obviously a referee, though, isn't it?
Reasons referee.
Yeah, well, they don't trust him with the lines.
That one can stay in. Yeah.
Yes, I am laughing at my own jokes.
I'm glad someone is now joking. Do you think?
All painful.
Do you think it will affect refereeing other referees going forwards in England? Just fan reactions towards them?
No.
It doesn't feel like it has been so far. I thought it would at the time, but then since we come back from the international break, not much more has really been said on that.
I mean, referees get a lot of stick anyway.
Mm.
I mean, are the referees that good over here? Don't know. We've had the conversation and we had the debate. I mean, they give it as they see it, but sometimes with VAR these days, it feels like they don't want to do that because they've got that safety net of VAR.
Yeah.
I'll let the VAR make a decision. And really, other than the offsides and the goal line technology, I'm in favour of scrapping VAR and you referee the game how you see fit. If you think it's a foul, you give it.
Yeah. Well, there was... I've only seen it on social media because I was keeping up with the Brighton Southampton game last night. There was a contentious offside decision in that.
Offside.
You thought it was offside?
Yeah, he's running towards the goal and he's tried to flick the ball. It's offside.
Yeah, but the reason that it was given as offside, I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to... We can debate it as much, but I haven't fully watched it. The reason it was given offside was that he disrupted Van Hecke, which was the player... Yeah. Van Hecke didn't even know where Armstrong was. Van Hecke was trying to play the ball anyway, so how much was he interfering with Van Hecke if he was behind Van Hecke? Yeah,
but Van Hecke's trying to intercept the ball, get my teeth in, because Armstrong's there, because he thinks the ball will be going to him.
Fair enough.
So he's in an offside position.
But the point of
just like Bernardo Silva was in an offside position.
Oh, that one we're going to disagree with. The point of bringing that up though is the amount of people were saying that wasn't offside. Does it then need to be overruled? It's subjective. You might think it's offside. I might think it's not offside. Therefore, it's not clear and obvious. Don't get involved.
Yeah, but that's the line, isn't it? Like it's in the VAR line.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the liner actually gave it or not. I've not seen it. I've only seen the 3-minute highlights. Yeah. So, but yeah, for me, because I read that on the report about they've had a goal disallowed, the winning goal, and it was contentious and blah blah blah. And I looked at it, and I was like, stop moaning. Like when I was playing, even when I was coaching, that was offside.
Yeah.
Maybe like now, it's just it's too. I don't know. The lines are too blurred. I think at times with interfering in play, not interfering in play. But no, you're standing in offside position unless you're over the far side of the pitch, not doing anything. Yeah. Then please.
I think it was Brian Clough's quote, wasn't it? If you're on the pitch, you're interfering with play, something like that.
Well, I know we were talking about David Coote, but have you seen those new images of why Liverpool lost the league when Gerrard slipped that time?
They were good.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was
a new angle.
Yeah.
Social media does not let up. That is the good side of social media. Isn't it?
All the memes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
that was
brilliant.
That was just golden.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that I am surprised that you haven't said in this debate that I thought you might bring up is the whole referees are corrupt. I didn't know if you were going to go that way with it.
One man's poor judgment, decision making, however you want to put it, does not make all of them corrupt. You can't judge them all by one person's actions or words, can you?
Yeah, but when you say, okay then, so when you say referees are corrupt, do you mean all referees? Do you mean the institution of refereeing in the Premier League, or do you mean one or two?
I mean the PGMOL and the directions and the directions they're given.
Okay.
Because they also now do that, I think it's monthly, isn't it, with Michael Owen on Sky.
And Howard Webb, yeah.
Yeah, and justifying their decisions. And I think the one, because it also comes up on the Sky Sports app, and like when you get notifications. Yeah, and it was like, he justified Saliba's red card. Obviously, I still don't think it's a red card personally, but whatever. Move past it. It flashed up and it was like, it was the correct decision, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, do you ever turn around and say it's not the correct decision? The only time I think he did was the Liverpool goal that was disallowed last season.
Against Tottenham.
Against
because
Spurs
the lines
away.
weren't drawn, Sometimes they say it's a wrong decision, but that whole thing just seems...
Again, that's just the sway of, you can hear what they're saying and this is their decision making. But it's fine to hear what they're saying and their thoughts behind a decision, but you can still turn around and say, well, even though that's what they thought, we've had a word with them and said, maybe they need to reconsider it next time if they're in this situation. Yeah. But again... only human beings, aren't they? Only call it how they see it. But yeah,
Yeah, which is interesting. I didn't know if you were,
no,
the corruption side of things.
Michael Oliver's corrupt though.
And on that note, let's move on.
Well, I think I'm gonna mention this on every single podcast the rest of the season. That Watford's moment in the Championship playoff.
Anti knockout 2013, I think it was.
Yeah. Sorry, only 11 years. Is it? Hang on. Yeah, 11 years later. He was the one going to...
I know.
Please. And it's the best referee in England.
You can't get your words out. Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
On the plus side, it did lead to one of the best moments in playoff history, but I mean, we weren't to know that was about to transpire. It was never a penalty.
Oh.
Yeah. But then
he had a clear view as well. That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Is that the whole Breaking Bad meme then? All of it. This whole game. It's all about me. Is that what it is?
He's a Newcastle fan, so he can't obviously referee anything near to Newcastle or anything like that, right? But surely you must be thinking, would I want that given against Newcastle?
Yeah,
that's how I'd do it. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, if I was a referee, I'd be like, well, I want that given against Arsenal.
Then you could say it happened so quickly and you only get one chance to see it.
An arm on the shoulder, come on. You see the way he went down?
Yeah.
That'll probably stay.
Partially.
Sorry.
Shall we move on to another talking point?
Yeah.
Gary Lineker, match of the day, quickly. Didn't know if you had many thoughts about this. I know we've spoken about it off podcast, but are you surprised that he's left?
Not overly. He's been getting himself into a little bit of trouble with what he's tweeting and he not adhering to the BBC rules. No, I'm not overly surprised. Like, he's been doing it 20 plus years.
It happens, doesn't it? It's
yeah, time. I find his sort of jokes and puns just a bit tired now. Really, maybe it needs freshening up.
So then, on that note, who would you like to see replace him?
Well, if you're looking at someone who's already there, probably Mark Chapman, because he does really good on Match of the Day too.
Yeah.
Kate Scott.
Yeah.
Should be really good.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if BBC would have the budget for that.
No, but if you had Kate Scott, you could just keep Michael Richards and Thierry Henry. Don't worry about Carragher. Not fussed about him. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think they've said about Gabby Logan. They've said about Alex Scott.
Yeah.
I'm not
enamoured.
Not overly enamoured.
It would have been made for Jermaine Genius. It was ready for Jermaine Genius, and obviously things came out at the start of the season. So
yeah,
whatever he did.
Yeah, I think it should be Mark Chapman. It should be Mark Chapman.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's all I really wanted to say on it, though. It's just a quick talking point. A couple of weeks since it was announced, and yeah, it's one of those things. He's been doing it, as you say, as long as he has been doing it. He's still going to be there next year for the FA Cup and in the World Cup.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Yeah,
time moves on.
Exactly.
Before we come to the Premier League talking points, a quick one on England and the international break. So just a few comments, more focusing around Harry Kane. Yeah, so 9 England players dropped out over the international break before the international break started with injury. What do you make of Kane's comments saying that he thinks England comes before anything and England comes before club in response to questions about those players dropping out? Is it that much of an issue, or are you surprised as many players dropped out as they did?
To quote Bob Geldof, I think he's talking a load of bollocks. England comes before club. If you don't perform well for your club, you don't get picked for England.
No, but I'm saying those players that got picked for England and then dropped out, obviously for club reasons.
Well, yeah, but these are glorified friendlies. The Nations League is glorified friendlies. That's all it is. It's a nothing competition. And then you're seeing a lot of players getting injured on
the first two international breaks,
these international duties. So no, at the end of the day, the clubs pay the players' wages.
Yeah.
So
I think 2 reasons. So one of which you've already said as to why that many players have dropped out because of injuries. Already we've seen across the 2 international breaks prior to this in October and September. And second of all, because these were Lee Carsley's last games, I think it would have been different had it been Thomas Tuchel starting. Players need to impress themselves, make an impression upon Tuchel. But he's not coming until January, so maybe there's not that urgency to impress until then.
Yeah, I also think Kane's sort of saying it to boost his own press, really, like with Tuchel.
Potentially, yeah. But then that leads me on to my next point. Obviously, he's worked with Tuchel before. Tuchel obviously really liked him at Bayern. Not that they won the league last year because Leverkusen did what Leverkusen did. But there have been some comments. I think Paul Scholes said it felt like the beginning of the end for Kane with England. Do you think that he still deserves to start at the moment, or would you put in a different centre forward, one arguably more mobile, such as Ollie Watkins, ahead of him?
It depends, because now it's system football, isn't it? So it depends which system Tuchel's playing and what he wants. Harry Kane is a top-class finisher.
Not world-class, no?
Top class.
We'll come to that in a minute. That's
yeah, no. I saw your message earlier, like when I said, "Oh, he's top class." Well, okay. Each their own. Everyone's got their own opinion. Doesn't mean they're right.
No, I know.
For both of us.
Social media might say otherwise, but we'll come to that.
I mean, if you speak to a Spurs fan, they'll say he's world class. You speak to an Arsenal fan, they'll say he's bottom of the basement.
I'm an Arsenal fan. He's world class.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I meant other Arsenal fans, not maybe ones as nuanced as yourself.
I'm nuanced. Thank you. I'm joking. Anyway, yeah.
Word of day toilet paper. Other people starting ahead of him. Again, at the moment he's the one who's best in form, and I think that's how you're supposed to pick your England team personally. So he's the one in form. He should be starting.
Yeah, fair enough. I think. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got that many years left at the top level. I mean, he's never been blessed with the greatest amount of pace anyway. So it's not like if he loses a yard or two, that's not going to affect him as much as it would affect a player obviously blessed with brilliant pace. Because in terms of, as you say, finishing and also passing range, those things he was always going to have. I imagine he'll lead the line going into the World Cup next. It's next year, 2026 now. Sorry, get my years mixed up. But after that, might still be around, but be phased out a little bit. I think.
I mean, that's still almost a couple of years away. It all depends. Like you've put here, like Watkins should be starting. It all depends how Watkins is doing in 2 years' time as well, doesn't it?
Of course,
he'll have another 2 years of experience. He's obviously getting Champions League experience as well this season. But with Harry Kane, like you say, as he gets older, you lose your pace as well. Not that he's ever been a pacey player.
Yeah.
But what you don't want to see is him dropping deep to spray balls around when we've got people that can pass the ball, supposedly, in that team.
But you could say he's.
But leave him in a position where you can create chances for him, and you know he can take the chances. That's the idea of it, isn't it?
Well, if he's going to drop deep, then you adapt the system and you have runners, because we didn't seem to have that in the summer in the Euros.
Well, then you have Watkins playing, but then you also have like your Saka on one side and I don't know Foden on the other,
or Gordon on the left hand side, which we were all calling out for in the summer because he is arguably England's quickest player.
He got 2 minutes here and there, didn't he? Like,
Right, one more before we move on, and we talked about it the other day. I only bring it up again because I put a clip out on. Who just did the celebration like that? Oh, it was Ronaldo's R9, wasn't it?
Yeah, World Cup final, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
God, that's some knowledge there for you.
That is,
well done.
Not bad at all.
And he was so quick because he just had that aerodynamic haircut.
You still say 98 Ronaldo was better than 02 Ronaldo, don't you? When we had this discussion before.
Did I?
I think so, yeah, on the previous podcast.
Oh, well...
Do you know when he first did his ACL?
After the World Cup in 98. I believe. Was it 98 or 99? Because he did one, came back and I think did the other.
Yeah.
Like playing for Inter Milan, came back from long-term injury. He was... I remember that World Cup. Obviously, I've told the story about... We found out that you were coming during that World Cup. I've told that on podcast, didn't I?
Yeah,
that's a good story.
Yeah.
You have another little brother or sister?
Yeah.
Put the ball back on. This World Cup comes down every 4 years. He's going to be here for the rest of my life.
And that would have been exactly the same, don't worry. Football comes first.
It was the same when I was told I was going to be a father. I was like, he's standing by the telly. I'm joking.
Priorities.
I'm joking.
Harry Kane. So I put out a clip on social media of us talking about him, the whole he's world class, you disagreeing.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, you said, so it got quite a little bit of a backlash. People saying, because the argument that you used was he missed one penalty against France, therefore he's not world class. Is that the only reason why you don't think he's world class, or are there other reasons as well?
What's he won?
But I knew that argument was going to come up. If he wins, so if he wins the Bundesliga this year, does then he automatically become world class?
No. You've got to do it on the big stage when it counts. He hasn't. Champions League final against Liverpool. Where was he? I know he'd come back from injuries.
Shouldn't have started.
But they dropped Mora, who got a hat-trick and got them there.
That's on Pochettino's shoulders.
Yeah, but he's still on the pitch. But he could turn around, couldn't he? He could turn around and say to Pochettino and go, listen, Maurice. I'm still struggling a little bit. Use me as an impact sub.
If you're saying, and I don't believe this, I'm just playing devil's advocate, but if you're saying that where was he on the big stage when it matters, everyone then always brings up in the debate between Henry and Drogba, Henry's record in cup finals compared to Drogba's record in cup finals.
Yeah.
Therefore, Drogba is the better player. Okay, so to relate it to your argument, Henry then doesn't have a...
But Henry did it consistently over a season and they won things as well, though. Henry would pick up...
Kane has done it consistently over a season with Tottenham.
Henry would pick up the ball and do something a bit special. He wouldn't just score goals, he'd create goals. Harry
Kane is like one of the best passers in world football.
Right. So Spurs had pace. That's all it was. Playing the ball behind. But he still
has to play... What do you mean playing the ball in behind? Have you seen him spray passes about on a pitch?
Yeah, but it's just playing the ball, isn't it?
What do you mean just playing the ball?
He couldn't do what Henry could do, could he?
Yeah, and do you think Henry could ping a ball 60 yards? I'm not saying
he didn't need to, because he could beat players. He had
Kane
Bergkamp for that. And Bergkamp didn't need to spray it 60 yards. Bergkamp could beat a player and just thread a little ball through.
Yeah, so Kane could thread a ball through.
No,
I'm not saying...
Never seen Kane thread a ball through.
Oh, behave. This is like the most heated the podcast has ever got. I love it.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
It's quite exciting. Maybe we should disagree more often. I'm not for a second saying that Kane is better than those players. I'm not saying that at all. But I will always dispute
Sounds like to me you are. Why don't you wear that Spurs shirt you've got hanging up instead of your Arsenal top?
Can I finish my point?
Nah, you bloody well can't.
I will always, like, if you're going to say that Kane, he can only pass the ball, you're disrespecting his passing ability. I completely disagree with that.
Okay, how many other world-class players then out there haven't won any trophies?
Yeah, but... I know Gerrard has won the Champions League, but people call Gerrard world class, and he's never won a Premier League.
No, Gerrard's not world class. Gerrard was a quality player, but it's not world class.
So then, what define world class for me, in your view?
The world class are the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop. Yeah, the absolute elite. So Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane, they're world class players, aren't they?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. Gerrard, I'm sorry, Gerrard isn't in that same bracket. You can say it because he's English and all that sort of thing. And Carragher says he's the best player ever. I'm like, well, James, but he would. But he's not. But that's just an opinion. That's my opinion.
But then because you could define categories. So obviously Ronaldinho and Zidane, I'm never going to dispute that they're not world class. But to me, as I said on the last podcast or one of the last podcasts when we talked about Iniesta and Modric, Ronaldinho and Zidane are like elite of the elite.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable special football
Iniesta
players
and
in
Modric
their
are
own
better
category.
players than Gerrard.
Yeah.
But they perform on the big stage. Look at the World Cups that England went to as well. And you can say about managers and all that stuff. I'm bored of that. It's because they shirk responsibility. Like, he scored a good goal against Trinidad and Tobago in the 2006 World Cup. And it was a very good goal.
But then I could say Istanbul 2005. When he helps drag Liverpool back into it. Is he not performing then? That's the big stage. That's the final. He's got flipping Jimmy Traore at left back who costs about 60 grand. He's got a Champions League medal.
A few of them have Champions League medals. Yeah, all right. He came back and did that in a game. But so one really good game makes you world class.
But you're saying that he's not performed on the big stage. That's an example that he's performed on the big stage.
Yeah, I'm talking about consistently. See, what annoyed me with that Liverpool team then as well, and for those few years, is when it came to Champions League nights, I was like, we know we can beat anyone over one game, and it was like, but there was talking points about how they weren't doing it in the league. When you're going to come close in the league, and they couldn't because they couldn't keep it consistent. Yeah, so you've got to be consistent as well with it. So with the league, it's got to be consistent. Henry at Arsenal had that consistency. I know they're saying, in cup finals he didn't score this, he didn't do that. He should have had a goal against Southampton in an FA Cup final, but I think it was I can't remember the lad's name now, but he was basically taking his shirt off in the first 30 seconds.
You're saying so the whole consistent argument. So to bring it back to Kane. Kane's consistency in the Premier League means that he's the second all-time top scorer. The amount of seasons that he scored 20-plus goals in, is that then not consistent? And you're talking about on the big stage, Champions League final and the World Cup when he missed a penalty against France. The examples.
I mean, he didn't just miss it. He blew it over the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, but then the counter-argument to that is... I know you're going to say there's no point in making the counter-argument. The reason why I wanted to bring it up is because the last podcast you obviously said that Kane missed a penalty against France, therefore he's not world class. I could point out when Messi's missed a penalty against Chelsea in the 2011-12 Champions League season when Chelsea then went on to win the whole competition. Ronaldo missed a penalty in the Euros against Slovakia. Bergkamp missed a penalty 99 semi-final against United. Does that mean they're not world class? Or are you going to say because they've done it consistently?
I don't know.
Are you not going to call Bergkamp world class? What is going on? What is happening?
I'll just wind you up a little bit.
He got me, so yeah.
I'm going to mount you on my wall.
Excuse me, you're going to mount me?
On my wall. You weirdo. No, but I'm talking about the mentality as well, though. He's scored one. Look at Mbappe. 3. Not twice. Thrice. In the final against Martinez, who's probably at the time the best goalkeeper in the world. Speaking of Martinez, did you see his stupid haircut for Aston Villa last week?
No, I saw he made a good save against Juve though in midweek.
I've not seen any of that. What was the final score? 0-0?
0-0. Yeah,
that's a good point for them.
Contentious VAR decision.
He's got number 23 cutting his hair. I'm not Emmy. You're 30 years old, mate. Grow up.
I knew that was coming.
I mean, he's got his name on the back of the shirt and all.
It's allowed.
Yeah, he's playing, I guess.
That was quite a good debate. I quite enjoyed that.
Did you?
It was like the most
fictitious?
Yeah, 15 minutes we've ever had on the podcast. Yeah.
We're watching this effing podcast. All I do is agree with each other.
I like it. I should put more
I'm not saying Kane's not a good player. That's not what I'm saying in the slightest. But for me, I just don't think he's world class.
So then what we've learnt then is you've got a tighter definition of world class by comparison to me.
Yeah. And in comparison to Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Bergkamp isn't world class in comparison to those two.
Yeah, but I would call Bergkamp world class anyway, but you're then talking about like levels of the elite footballers, like elite of the elite, greatest of all time, etc., etc.
Yeah,
like
with Bergkamp was just different quality.
Yeah, but I obviously put him as world class. But you're comparing him to Ronaldinho or R9. I mean, Henry isn't as good as R9. Henry.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
But they're both world class. Just R9 is, if not the greatest number 9 of all time, one of the greatest number 9s of all times. Probably alongside Van Basten and players like that. So, yeah. Let's move on. Let's come to the Premier League because obviously we are a Premier League podcast and have been quite a few talking points.
Casual fan podcast. TCF Sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can we talk about snooker, aren't we?
We can talk about snooker if you want to talk about snooker.
I mean, we need to talk about Max Verstappen. Congratulations, Max. Your 3rd world title. Get in, son.
Yeah.
3 in a row. Well done.
I agree. Back to agreeing.
On the Harry Kane thing,
yeah,
you said he was getting some backlash on social media. I assume I was getting some backlash on social media.
Yeah, but then people conflate our views and things like that because obviously I used the example, even though I disagreed with you, so I think Kane's world class, you brought up the whole he didn't score the penalty against France, and I used the Mbappe example because it supports your point.
Yeah,
I understand why you're making that.
That's point. A little bit of mentality as well that I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I
not ability, mentality.
I know, I disagree with.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I obviously think Kane's world class, but
you thought Bernardo Silva was onside, so it's fine.
He was onside
in your world. You'll watch Match of the Day later and text me.
Armstrong's
onside.
I've got a Simpsons reference to quote you. The future is now, old man. This is what football is now.
What was it? I'm going to rock on forever, or whatever he says.
Stay cool forever. Nah.
I don't think I've ever been cool, so that's not something I'm really worried about.
Right, Premier League. Let's start with Leicester and the Steve Cooper sacking. Did you think it was a little bit harsh on Steve Cooper? Were you surprised when the news came out?
I was a little bit surprised, yeah. I thought Leicester City would stick with him for a bit longer, but there you go. Football is a fickle game.
I wasn't surprised based on the noise that the fans have been making earlier on in the season. We spoke about it on earlier episodes that there were rumours that he was under pressure already. Obviously, you had the whole coming from Nottingham Forest, but I think the fans and the players especially were comparing him to Maresca. Maresca was more system-focused. Steve Cooper, it felt like, or from rumours inside the changing room, they didn't have an identity that the players were playing with. I know you can say the players can take more responsibility on the pitch, but then it also transpired in midweek, or after they lost against Chelsea last week, the players went to their Christmas party in Denmark. I don't know why Denmark. I don't know why they're flying out after they lost the game. But they had a sign with them that they pictured in the background saying, "Enzo, we miss you." So not the best.
No, a bit disrespectful as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, because he's not going to come back either. I think that's disrespectful to the fans as well, though, saying, "Enzo, we miss you." Like,
play for the manager that you've got in charge. Or
play for the
club. Play for the badge.
Yeah, play for the badge. and if things aren't going well, then go and speak to your chairman or speak with the manager. But if the manager doesn't change, then go and speak to the chairman. But it was always going to be a tough job for him. Like,
the only surprise that, thinking about it, I don't understand why they waited until after the international break. It would have made far more sense to me if he's teetering on the edge. Just do it over the international break, get somebody else in, let him have 2 weeks with the players, and then start fresh against Chelsea. Unless they've now got an easier run of fixtures, they get the Chelsea game out of the way and try and get some sort of balance.
You never know what's going on behind closed doors either, do you?
No.
So,
but obviously, Ruud van Nistelrooy has now been appointed.
Yeah, that was quite surprising. Although, on Van Nistelrooy, talking of Man United, because the Man United players had come out and said they wanted Van Nistelrooy to stay and all that sort of thing, and we obviously hadn't been doing this. For me, that's a massive red flag. I'd be like, he needs to go then. If the Man United players want to keep him, he needs to go, because if they have that player power, they won't play for the new manager, and he'll be like, "Don't worry, Ruud, we'll get you in."
Yeah, or it's maybe like a comfort thing.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I thought good. Like, I know he just come in over the summer, but yeah, good for that new manager.
Yeah.
Not get him out, but you're not in my plan. Sorry, but you're gonna have to leave.
Well, so obviously we spoke about it previously when Amorim was first appointed, but Van Nistelrooy hadn't decided if he was going to stay on, or Amorim hadn't made the decision if he wanted him part of his coaching staff. I think at the time you said that if they got rid of him, it would reflect badly on Ineos, because obviously Ineos brought him in over the summer, as did Ten Hag, to support Ten Hag. It's just poor decision making. But Amorim has to decide who he wants. Amorim is the person that needs to enact his vision. So,
but then, is there an element they brought Van Nistelrooy in because Ten Hag wanted him in to help out?
I'm not sure. Who made that decision? Did they bring Van Nistelrooy in with the potential to replace Ten Hag if it went south? Obviously, it has gone south. They've decided to go in a different direction.
Well, I know sort of at the beginning of the season, I was saying Ten Hag will lose his job, Van Nistelrooy will take over, and he'll get it permanently because they'll have a good run of form. Obviously, that's where they've changed a little bit. They've bucked the trend. Because that obviously, well, not so much happened with Solskjaer, but Solskjaer came in temporarily, didn't he?
And then give him what he wants. Sign the contract.
Yeah. He was because he's got his own podcast, doesn't he? And I see clips on YouTube, and he was making a good point about strikers, saying about how many world-class strikers there were back in the day, and how it seems to be like a position that he was going, "Oh, you've only really got Haaland in the Premier League and Delap at Ipswich," and he was saying Watkins at Villa, and there was one other he mentioned. I can't even remember who it was, but and he was talking about, Chelsea, you had Drogba, and Arsenal, it was Henry and Bergkamp, and he was listing off all these great strikers, and it was like, that's just Premier League. Then you go to Italy, and you've got Del Piero, and it's more about wide players, isn't it, really? But anyway, I sort of went off on a tangent. I mean, good luck to him at Leicester. I hope he does well for himself.
Yeah, he's obviously first job over here. See what happens. See how he does. Can only judge him after that. Yeah.
It's a bit of a surprising one, but...
Yeah. On United, obviously Amorim has come in. I know I put out a couple of clips that we spoke about one of the last recordings, because it does feel quite salient in the sense of you saying that they've still got deep problems, and the start doesn't reflect Amorim at all. It's more the players on the pitch, and it does feel like a continuation.
I think Roy Keane said something like that after the Ipswich game, didn't he? Still the same players.
Well, that's why I want to do a little quick. What players should Amorim be looking to sell? So I'm going to list a few players.
Okay.
I just want your opinion, keep or sell. Okay?
Before you do that, I didn't, but I'd have put money on Rashford being the first scorer. When I saw that, I was like, shock.
Yeah. Turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so which of these do you think Amorim and United should be looking to keep or sell? Lindelof.
Sell.
Maguire.
Keep.
Lisandro Martinez.
Keep.
Malacia.
Is he the right back?
Left back. Come back from about 18 months out.
Keep then, for the time being.
Luke Shaw.
Sell.
Diego Dallo.
Keep.
Johnny Evans.
Let him retire.
Mason Mount.
He needs a season where he's not injured, so keep.
Bruno Fernandes.
Definitely keep.
Ericsson.
Probably let him go.
Casemiro.
Again, but replace him, because he's obviously DM, but replace him.
Rashford.
Sell.
Garnacho.
Keep.
Anthony.
Yes, Anthony needs to go.
Yeah. I'm surprised. There's quite a few more that you said keep that I thought you would. I could have phrased the question differently. Do you think those players are good enough for United and included more because, well, the issue is when I asked that question, obviously the thoughts about United that we have title winning what they had been under Sir Alex Ferguson. United are so far away from that you can't just get rid of players that aren't at that level and replace them very quickly. But yeah, there was a few more that you said keep than I thought you would. Long story short, though, it's going to take a massive project and a good couple of years for him to turn that club around. So
it's going to take a long time and some transfer windows, but it all depends on the style. I saw the comment on, I want to say your Instagram from that United fan. Oh, I'm assuming it was a United fan saying hindsight's 2020 when you put out the clip about Ten Hag. But to be honest, you've clearly not been listening because we've been talking about that since the back end of last season. And I think I said at the beginning of the season he won't be there at Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, we both pretty much said, and when we did the managers, well, they won't they? I
mean, the writing was on the wall in the summer, wasn't it? Like looking around at other managers, and then going, "Oh, we'll give you a new contract."
What's the point? If you're looking around at other managers, it's disrespectful to Ten Hag, and you're clearly shopping for somebody else. So just go after somebody else.
Yeah.
I think they were looking at Ruben Amorim in the summer.
Have you seen Ten Hag's interview since he got fired?
I haven't. No.
It's your decision in September against Arsenal.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I should have realised. I should have said. I could see like the lights inside your eyes.
Changed everything. I apologise for my poor Dutch accent. I'm not quite Steve McLaren.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, he'll write a book on that decision.
Yeah, be interesting to see where he goes next as well. But I imagine it'll take a little bit of time out of football.
I mean, who's available? As in, what clubs are available?
Well, it depends if he gets another top job. I don't think he would in this country, but he might want to go back to Holland. He might want to go elsewhere.
He'll need to go elsewhere. Maybe he was coach under Guardiola at Bayern Munich, wasn't he? I mean, they're going to win the league this season, aren't they?
Yeah.
But with them, it's not really the league. I know they didn't win the league last season, but it's everything else.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Italy, maybe he might be a little bit more because they're very system focused.
Yeah, and that division Serie A this year is a lot more competitive.
Well, I had a few years
really
where it was a bit, wasn't it?
But even in the Champions League now, obviously Inter I think are second in the group stage because Liverpool are top, having won all their games. Milan have won a couple of their last few games. Juve, a lot of draws, sums up most of their season so far, but
I haven't kept too much focus on the Italian league. I'm not going to lie. I flick at the scores every now and then, but I wouldn't know. Not like when I was a kid when I knew about it. And
was that when I've seen Rio Ferdinand talk about the old Serie A highlights on Channel 4 or Saturdays? Was that when it was? You were like,
oh, I mean, you're looking. I think you're looking at mid-90s then.
Yeah, but
I just remember that. It was a good program. Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah, and some of the players that are playing out there at the time.
Yeah. Think about it's funny because I had a video, looked that one up as well as the phone book, and it was when Paul Ince was playing for Inter Milan, and he kicked 7 shades of something out of him, right? Yeah. And into the penalty area, and he goes down, and he gets booked, I think. And the commentator of the video is like, "Yeah, being Paul Ince, you get booked for being fouled." I could be wrong with him being booked, but it was like, "Are you not seeing this?" Like, but mad.
I have to have a look after as well. Mohamed Salah, obviously.
Mo Salah.
He's doing really well this season. A lot of
Well,
goals.
it helps when the goalkeeper goes, "There you go, Mo."
If you want my donut of the week, there can only be one. He was dropped last night as well, wasn't he? Because of the.
Is Ramsdale injured?
He got injured before the international break. Dropped out of international duty. Obviously, the injury is genuine because he is now not back and has missed the first 2 games after the international break. So
I mean, for Southampton, you could have had all 3, couldn't you? They literally gifted Liverpool those 3 goals. Mm-hmm. Like the centre half trying to play it out. I mean, I know that's obviously how they're told to play. Just clear your lines.
Well, it got to the point later on in the game that Southampton fans were ironically cheering when McCarthy did boot the ball long.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the goalkeeper was doing. He obviously thought it was offside. It was just his reaction. He looked at the line. I went,
yeah.
Yeah, that was abysmal.
No, I know. But on Salah especially, it's more the comments after the game that he talked about being more out than in at Liverpool. And that he's disappointed that Liverpool haven't made him an offer thus far. I can see your opinion on that. So do you think it shows that he wants to stay, or does it show that he wants more money? As you're
Of course he wants more money.
But
Of course it's going to be. He could go to the Saudi League and be on double. But if I was Liverpool, off you go then.
But-
I know he's scoring goals, but they're obviously starting him. But I think Diaz is quality.
The argument being made in the media is that because he's now, 32, 33, early 30s,
Yeah.
but pushing to mid-30s, eventually there is going to be a time where his numbers dwindle. He's not able to play every week.
I mean, he is doing well at the moment, getting in amongst the goals, but he's lost the yard of pace, hasn't he? That's been apparent for about the last season, maybe two.
He's still
People might say I'm a bit harsh, but yeah, I mean, he's been on penalties, but even like a couple of seasons ago, he missed like 3 penalties in a row in the Premier League, I think, didn't
one
he?
against
Something like that.
Bournemouth. Yeah, he missed
One against us, hit wide. I mean, he just missed one in the Champions League against Real Madrid, but so did Mbappe. Good save by Kelleher, to be fair.
He's done really well, Kelleher.
I mean, there's an argument saying that he should start ahead of Alisson based on his form. Like, when Alisson comes back from injury, I'd feel a bit sorry for the lad if they was to just drop him straight off the bat.
It feels like Arne Slot has done his legs in a little bit because he's always said that Alisson is number one and Alisson will be coming back in as soon as he's fit again. But Kelleher's form means you can't drop him. Surely you can't drop him.
Well,
Alisson is world class. I get that.
That's where behind closed doors you go to him. Listen, and until he makes an error, first error he makes, then you'll be back in. And if he doesn't make an error,
why have they also signed the?
I was thinking that honestly when Kishinishvili, is it?
Mamadishvili in Valencia,
The Georgian
goalkeeper.
I mean, he had a great Euros, and showed how good he is, but.
It's madness.
It is.
And Kelleher's not going to be number one, he's Premier League level, so he'll be going to a different Premier League club.
Go West Ham.
Yeah, it's a shout.
Better than Areola.
Yeah. Obviously Fabianski's getting on a bit now as well. Could arguably be playing for a better club than that, based on the form that, not to disrespect West Ham.
Oh, you're going to be in trouble! What do you mean? You got your West Ham shirt up there?
Well, we're recording this on the evening that...
my voice doing that. It's been a while.
Recording this on the evening that West Ham are playing Arsenal, so no doubt West Ham will now turn us over.
Yeah, but you say that. I thought Sporting... what are they called?
Sporting Lisbon.
It's Sporting Lisbon. I thought they were going to...
Where did that come from?
I saw that next... Because on the Super 6, I put us to lose about 3-1.
I put us to lose 2-1.
And I saw the next day, I was like, we won 5-1. I was like...
Last weekend, I thought...
They did City 4-1.
I
know they've lost their manager, but come on, it doesn't change around that quickly.
Oh, they after losing Amorim, their first game in the Portuguese league, I know it's a different competition. I think they won 5 or 6-0, whatever it was. Yeah.
I saw that. I was like... Do you know what that is, don't you? That's the Odegaard factor, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing against Forest last weekend. I thought it would be a struggle, hence why I predicted 2-1. I thought it was going to be a tight game. Forest, a good team. Comfortable 3-0.
Yeah, Odegaard factor.
But it makes hopeful that we can now kick on.
It just shows how much we rely on him, though, doesn't it? And it shows how good he is.
Oh, yeah.
I said on this thing, like when he was injured, I was like, that's it.
But you could say the same thing about Rodri now with City, based on City's form, that lost. You okay over there?
Yeah.
You're enjoying City's downfall, are you?
Yeah, I'm proper sick.
Yeah, you look it. Are they in crisis, do you think?
Well on Spurs. Go on, Spurs!
Oh, what a result. I mean, we should talk about Tottenham, how good they were first.
Oh, yeah.
Madison, Kulusevski especially. Kulusevski seems to have found another gear that he's gone into. Unbelievable performance. But yeah, City.
Even in midweek for away a 3-goal lead.
Yeah. I mean, surely, I get missing Rodri. Rodri is a massive player, but if you're 3-0 up, that can't impact throwing 3 goals away.
Oh, come on. Like...
Yeah.
Boo-hoo. I saw an interesting comment on social media, though, because Guardiola just signed a new deal, wasn't he? Contract extension. And I was like, well, that's those 115 charges done then. There's no way Guardiola will be signing new contracts unless he...
He said he's going to stay.
Yeah, there's no way he's signed that contract if he thinks they're corrupt and all that sort of thing, is there? So...
You never know.
So clearly they are corrupt. 115. 1 plus 15? 16!
I was figuring out a way to work that one in.
Yeah. Out of push 70. Yeah. Oh dear.
I mean, that was all the main talking points, to be fair, that I wanted to cover from the various games.
Oh, really?
Unless you wanted to get into any more of the talking points that I put. But I have listed all of the games if you want to go through any of them. I think we should actually have a shout out for Wolves as well for their 4-1 win against Fulham. And especially Cunha. Was it his first?
His second goal.
Second goal.
To be honest, I watched the highlights and you got 3 tick-a-boos in one game there for me. Iwobi. I mean, all right, he was trying to cross it, but tick-a-boo, son. even Cunha's first goal, because the ball over the shoulder to bring it down and finish it.
The pass was lovely as well.
Just different gravy. Beautiful. And then his other finish.
Best of the lot.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, I've put 3 tick-a-boos in one game. Quality. And yeah, who'd have thought? Honestly, I mean, especially after Spurs. Especially after Fulham had gone and done Palace away.
Yeah, comfortably did Palace away. The performances, I know they lost the games, but against City, I've praised them, and rightfully so, for multiple episodes that they're a really good team. They're going to give every team in the league a good game this season.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. I know they went down to 10 men because Anderson went off injured. They'd already made 5 subs, but at that point, I think it was already 2-1.
I mean, that as well, when you got 5 subs, making 5 subs, that's worse than Jose at half time, isn't it? Making all 3 subs when it just used to be 3 substitutions.
Send a message.
Send a message and then have a go at your doctor. Or physio. She was physio, wasn't she?
Yeah.
10 players. You distract them too much. That was the only thing I wanted to say. You've done your donut of the week. But Chelsea know how to defend up top, don't they? Great defending.
They laughed it off.
Oh, I know. Well, he had a bet on, didn't he? It's like, Palmer's not going to score today.
Yeah, made sure of it.
Yeah, damn right. Was it Madueke?
It was Madueke, yeah. They both just...
But speaking of them, Jackson's coming into a bit of form, isn't he?
Well, it's funny because you talked the Rio Ferdinand clip that you saw and listing centre forwards now. Jackson probably deserves a mention in the category of centre forwards.
Well, that's what he was talking about. Yeah, that was one of the ones he mentioned actually, talking about centre forwards. But
he took his he took his goal against Leicester. Lovely.
But what he was actually saying is, even though he mentioned Haaland and that sort of thing, he was saying if you look at the rest of them, compare that to when I was playing. Yeah. And it was like they're streets apart. Right. Yeah.
Okay. The last word before we come to table of results and wrap up is for West Ham, because they also deserve a shout out for the win at Newcastle.
I've not seen those highlights, but what was that about? We all had them to lose, didn't we?
Everyone expected Newcastle to just roll West Ham over because West Ham haven't been great so far this season. Newcastle will come into a bit of form. I don't think they lost the last 4 going into that one. Obviously beat us. Great result of Forest away as well before the international break, 3-1. And then West Ham go and do that.
And then there's still rumours that Eddie Howe's job is...
Yeah, but something... I've said it...
You said it's behind closed doors, haven't you?
The new sporting director and things like that. Something is not right there. I also said that because their performances at the start of the season, as much as they were getting decent results, the performances weren't there. They then started performing better and also getting the results with it, but that result came out of the blue. Whether that is still reflective of something going on behind the scenes, it isn't all 100%. One that will boil over.
Sometimes it's also difficult after the international break, I find. You do get some of these funny results, don't you?
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially if players that have travelled long distances... I don't know if Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes were in the Brazil squads, but potentially. No,
exactly. But then there's also you've got that. But then, look at the Spurs one. I've put Spurs to lose tomorrow, not because I'm being disrespectful to Spurs, because they're just mad. Yeah, they're absolutely they lost at home to Ipswich and then go and beat City away. Yeah, I know City are on a bad run of form.
I know, but
dismantle them.
They hadn't lost at the Etihad for 34, 35 games, something like that. Yeah. Excluding the Madrid result, if you count that, but that was on penalties, so I don't count that.
No, I think I was talking about
in the league as well. Yeah,
I'm sure because the last time they lost was before the World Cup when Brentford did them 2-1. Was it 2-1?
That was the game before the last game before the World Cup. Yeah. So, as you say, Tottenham lose to Ipswich, beat City 4-0, roll City over deservedly, could have been even more, and then draw against Roma in the Europa League.
Yeah, that was a last-minute equaliser, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
So they'll probably lose tomorrow, that's what I mean.
It sums them up. Yeah. Mental. Absolutely mental. Exciting to watch, though, I guess.
Yeah. Leslie Chow is madness. You don't reason with madness. Tottenham are Leslie Chow. They are.
Yeah. That's how
But
we're
it makes them
first going
entertaining to
forwards.
watch.
Yeah, I know.
And they are entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Even coming from an Arsenal fan.
I know. Yeah. Back to agreeing.
Oh, there's going to be Arsenal fans going, you ain't real Arsenal fans. Well, I bet you celebrate Harry Kane's goals when he scores for England. Yeah, I do. and I throw shade at him when he misses penalties.
Yeah. Yeah. Table of results before we wrap up.
No, we don't need to do that. No, sack that off.
Been a couple of match weeks since we last recorded. Match week 11 before the international break. I got 5 points. You got 4 points. James got 6 points. Match week
James
12.
needs to be -1 for not being able to do basic arithmetic. on the last podcast. Oh, I think you're 1 point more than you should have. Yeah, I was. Cheers, brother.
Match week 12, I got 4 points, you got 3 points, James got 8 points. So overall, it means that I am still in first on 77. James has clawed it back though and is now in second on 74, and you are third on 70.
I look forward to playing ends/horse.
Ends.
I think we should do both. And then
Decider as red arse, which is, the kick-ups.
No, don't do kick-ups. Do something different, because I know I won't win that. There's no way I'm going to win kick-ups. I'm not very good. I'm very, very average. The decider will just have to do something else.
Think about it. Ends has definitely got to be in there. If you want to put horse in, then that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I feel like we should agree the categories or the games of horse before we go into it. But we can decide later on down the line.
Well, if we need a decider, because obviously that'll be at a 5-a-side pitch, we go to a full-size pitch and do like horse there or something a bit different.
We'll see. Yeah, it can be decided later on. We've still got 2 other forfeits to get in before.
Yeah, we'll get them done soon.
Yeah,
the tattoo will definitely be booked in soon.
And then the stadium will be
in the summer. If you're around.
I'll be around.
Hopefully Mikel Arteta will still be in charge, otherwise I won't be able to sing that song, will I?
You sing it anyway. I imagine you'll be in charge.
I mean, if it's a real forfeit, like, I should be up there going, Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea.
You can do that if you want to. You're welcome to sing whatever you want to sing up there. Just whatever song you have to sing, you have to be in that club's kit.
Park, wherever you may be.
And on that note, I think we'll leave it there.
that came up on the top 5
songs
fan charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's kind of funny.
Definitely can't say it these days.
Oh, yeah, I know.
On that note, you got any more to add, or wraps it all up nicely?
It was fantastic being back, and we'll see you again in 4 weeks.
No, I'm around next weekend. You around next weekend?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'll have to see what childcare's doing. Hopefully.
That's fine.
Hopefully.
I'm around next weekend. If you're around next weekend, we can do it then.
We'll try and work something out.
I'm also around the following weekend. If you're around the following weekend, we can do it then. And then it sort of comes into the Christmas period. So there'll be a lot of games, but we can...
I'm around all week Christmas.
There we go.
We can record every day. We can have a live one. Probably can't have a live one because I swear too much. We had final score there. I'm going,
get those 3 live viewers. The views do okay, but obviously they tick up after the fact. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I will. But you got to start somewhere.
I know.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
It's like we said, it's been going.
The Colonel didn't start until 60. Like I say, it's your it's good that you keep putting out the clips.
Yeah, well, that's what gets the most engagement.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you got plenty of content, you put out those clips, and you've got so many podcasts. You have new people that'll go, oh well, I'll listen to pick and choose what I listen to. But yeah.
And on that
note, keep the good work going. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. There's always more ideas. It's just getting time.
Yeah.
Using time wisely. But the recording is the main thing because then it gets the clips, and obviously the recording is what we both most enjoy, especially when we debate for 15 minutes and title the podcast.
But it's healthy debate though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't have to agree on everything.
No.
We shouldn't agree on everything.
No.
And if everyone's to agree on everything all the time, the world would be a boring place. Yeah. But it's doing it respectfully, isn't it? And it's agreeing to disagree. Yeah. If we don't see eye to eye, it's not like, oh, I'm not going to do your podcast anymore. I'm not going to talk like, you know what I mean? Like, I just have to live with the fact that you're wrong. It's fine. Sorry.
And on that note, Harry Kane is world class. You'll see us on the next one. I can stay in as well.